Welcome to The Dentist Show. Let's jump right in.
Okay, well, welcome to The Dentist Show.
The Dentist Show.
We are here again.
Yeah, we are.
We're ready for springtime in the Spokane Valley.
Yeah,
Sure.
so ready.
You guys got hit with some snow.
We had a lot of snow this month of February, and then in like a 2-day span, got up to 50 degrees and the sun's shining, and I think everyone just like went up like 10 points in happiness at least.
Yeah, we had a visitor from Spokane with a supplier group with your special markets guy.
Oh, yeah.
And he mentioned, like, look at my backyard, it's snowing. I'm like, well, at least Ryan's happy he can ski, I guess. He's had some down years up there. So.
Yeah, last year was pretty rough. This year, skiing is less of a problem of snow, and it's more of a problem when my kids are too busy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kids are getting older.
Yeah, they've got their wrestling, rugby, dance, other competition stuff, and school. Yeah, forget school. We try to skip Fridays, but then they got a test, so
it's harder and harder to get them in.
Yeah. So it's good. I was glad we had that snow that we did because we got up a couple times over the last couple weeks, and it was really nice, really awesome snow. And then the sun came out, and
it's all gone.
It's all gone, like melted in a couple days. Like in front of my house, there's like a foot, like shoveled snow too. But it was like I remember like next to my truck, like over a foot of snow.
Yeah,
and the next day it's gone.
It's gone. Well, there's no snow in Arizona. It's been sunny.
Yeah,
actually been a heat wave a couple weeks during the Waste Management Open. It was just like 85. It's super hot.
Ooh, that's tough.
So I mean, it's not hot to us. I mean, it's hot for February, but it's in March, but it's not 120. So I had a patient that he estimated water use and how much we have in reserves.
Oh.
And so he was telling me Phoenix actually has a large lake underneath it.
Yeah, the aquifer. I've heard of that.
So we can last at that point, it was like 5 years with no more water.
Yeah.
Or I'm estimating, or it might have been a little more than that. And his job was to estimate it. So it's like always X amount. And if it gets over, then they'd sell it. To
like California. Yeah.
They'd just like pass on the Colorado rights and then let it go by or whatever. So
yeah,
that was fascinating. So he's no longer a patient. Actually, he was a really cool patient. We were going to start placing the implants and he needed one.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, I'll do your implant for free if you come do a course with me. And he's like, no one learns on my mouth. And I was like, oh yeah, I can respect that. I wouldn't do it either. I'm just saying.
So awesome.
you can save like $2,000 if you come do this, Yeah, no one learns on my mouth.
Yeah.
All right.
You should have told him. I was like, well, the next time you come in and I do it on your mouth, remember, it's only the second time and you have to pay for it.
I'm just going to tell you. I'm just letting you know it's your first time right now.
Yeah. Do you ever do that with patients? Sometimes I'll be patients. I say, hey, this is only my first time doing this, so we're gonna see how it goes. Or like, this is my second. Or when it's done, I'm like, not bad for my second time, right?
Yeah, I'll say like, oh, so I'm running late. I had to go watch YouTube about this one.
Yeah,
watch some procedure. It's like, how do you do this? How do you place this implant? The sinus augmentation,
and how many times is that true?
Well, I've watched YouTube for a lot of stuff, for sure. Or it's been like something happened during a procedure and you're like, I need to go look at your scan again.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like search something like, is it normal for blood to come out of someone's nose or an implant procedure? Just kidding.
So I, speaking of blood, it made me think of starting an IV. When I first was doing sedation, I had this patient that I think I was like 10 sticks into her.
I can't believe you did that.
Well, she just wanted to keep going. She's like, go for it.
She's a military trainer, right?
No, this was a different gal.
Oh, okay.
I think she had a drug history, if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay.
But she was like she's like, I got a really good vein on my boob right here. She's like, there's one on my neck. And I'm like, I don't think I was 10 in. I think I was like 7.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? If we can't get it anywhere, like we're going for the feet. And then we're done. Like, I'm not going to be getting body parts.
Did you get it started in the foot?
Yeah. So what I did is she actually told me, she's like, hey, you look a little stressed. Why don't you just take a little break? So I did. I walked out of there and I come back. But what I literally went and did was sit at my computer and I was like, Googled how to do a difficult IV start. Like, boom, boom, boom. It showed me a technique, right? Make sure that the hand's lower than the heart, so you would shunt all the blood that way. Put a heat pack on it, and then they also said you can wrap the arm, right?
Yeah.
So He wrapped the arm. And then it showed me that if you like slightly bend the needle as you're pulling it out
Right.
to make it so your plane's a little more level.
Yeah.
So wrap the arm, bent the needle, bam, got it.
Did you tell her when you went back in, like, all right, I got some ideas from the internet?
No. I didn't tell her. I said,
the old Google's helping me out here.
So I'm feeling pretty good. Let's get this going.
You say, I'm going to try a different technique.
Yeah.
It just came top of my mind. I'm going to wrap your arm now. And she's like, he went to Google.
Yeah. I'm sure she knew.
This.
I'm sure she knew. But I didn't acknowledge that.
I'm like,
I think I said, I got an idea. Let's
Well, if everything goes right, typically we don't, sedate over obese people,
right?
Super obese. And those guys, because they're IVs are so difficult to start anyways.
Yeah.
But usually I give them like three tries. My assistant that starts IVs will start one. If she misses and she comes gets me. If I miss two, we call it a day. Like,
oh really?
Sorry,
I'm like, I'm here, you're here. We are doing this.
Well, I've tried like the feet, and that's super painful. And then you miss in the foot. You're like, oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not very good. It's like, no, it's not you, it's me. I'm like, no, really, it's me. I mean, your veins right there.
Yeah,
and there are like, we had a RN come in. We hired to come teach the team how to do blood draws and IV starts, and he had techniques. So I was talking through what would happen. And he would say, oh, it's because you don't have your little accessory saline thing to push through the valve.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, he's blow through those probably. Or or it diverts the vein or something happens. So anyway,
I feel like sometimes I get one going, I get the initial flash.
Yeah.
And then I start to advance it. Yeah. And then it like won't go in.
Yeah.
Right?
So he says, and we bought them. We still don't do it because we're old dogs. But there's a little thing that goes on. You place the IV, it like goes half in, you feel like a little resistance.
Yeah.
And then a little syringe hooks to the side of you, squeeze saline as you advance it.
Oh, and then it like forces that valve to open. And
valve opens, it balloons the vein a little bit, and then you can get the catheter to enter a little better. So
I found that in most instances, when I'm doing like more than 2 sticks, it's because I'm rushing it. If I slow it down, I can get
you do primarily in the hand.
Yeah, I do hands.
That's our last resort.
That's interesting.
I struggle with hands. That the veins just move so much.
Yeah, you gotta like I pinch and hold. I don't know if you guys can see, but like I like hold the vein with my thumb and go right above my thumb.
Disappears.
Yeah, you gotta memorize where it is. You gotta look at it. There it is. Pull it tight. Stick.
The RN that came, he was cool. He would make an indent with his fingernail into the vein.
Oh.
And so when you pulled it back, you could see your indentation. And then,
gotcha.
So if you ever need that trick. But we always start in the elbow.
Yeah, the ACF there or whatever.
Or what's in the lateral one.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one I hit the most because my assistant will blow up the good one.
Right, so then you go for the second.
And that's such a good vein. It's always straight.
Yeah.
It's nice if it's there. If it's not too covered with fat.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry guys that aren't dentists, but if you are, IV's fun, and
I mean
it's fun to miss them and have fun with the assistants.
Yeah. But if you're not doing stuff with IVs and you're afraid of IV for the sake of it being IV, it's actually not that bad.
It's not bad, and trust me, you'll be better than I am at it.
Yeah.
And during our class, we took it in Oregon.
Yeah.
And I remember my first patient, he was like pretty muscular, and he had the biggest veins.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, thank goodness I got the easy ones because I think I'm going to struggle with this. And I did. I blew right through the thing.
Yeah, I think you were worse in class.
Yeah, by far, man. I think my first 5 was like, whoop, miss.
Maybe your patient that didn't want to go to class with you for the implant was right.
Yeah, never give me on the first try. You don't want that. I was so bad. I am better, and I still am not that great, so I have my assistants do it.
Yeah.
And then I feel like the hero when I come in and get it.
Yeah, Washington's tough. Do your assistants need IV permit?
No, it's kind of like a gray area.
Yeah.
And they say it's because no one's, and maybe I'm going to get in trouble now that this is out in the ether, but I was told that's a kind of a gray area. So if they're trained to do it, then
they can.
They can, as long as you're okay with it. But they said as soon as someone dies, then they're going to or gets like severely injured by it or something.
Then they'll pull it back.
They'll pull it back, but
luckily the risk for that is pretty low.
Yeah, and it's hard to blame an assistant it's ultimately me. You know, it's like the assistant, the patient swallowed the temporary crown because the assistant dropped it. Well, it's still me, even though I wasn't in there.
Yeah.
So that's all right. That's it. That's IV. Enough IV talk. We've had some fun experience with sedation, so and it's very profitable and fun, and team loves it.
And it's great service to our patients. Like,
for sure,
it's my favorite day.
Yeah, I used to like Halcyon, and then you have a few bad Halcyon patients, and then you're like, I hate Halcyon.
Yeah,
it's a nightmare. It's not. It's unpredictable.
The crying patient,
the crying patients, the ones that always, I thought I'd be sleeping. I'm not. I'm not sleeping at all. I'm not sedated at all.
And then you ask them a week later, they don't remember it.
They don't remember a thing. But the appointment is so stressful because they're like that. And IV does have that from time to time.
Yeah,
they're not talking, but they're like. Their vitals are like up and down,
Yeah.
And it's like it's a rodeo sometimes.
Yeah, you got to remind them to breathe every now and again.
Yeah. It's usually the obese again instead of sleep apnea patients that tend to be kind of a rodeo when you're sedating them.
Yeah, if every single one of my sedation patients was 20 and healthy.
Yeah, if they're like just wisdom teeth patients.
Yeah. Oh, those are slam dunks.
They are rarely bad. It's usually
knocking on some wood here.
It's usually like this 60 or 70-year-old men that are a little obese and not very healthy that they struggle with breathing.
Right.
So, anyways, cool. So today, we're a couple months into Trump's elections.
Yeah.
That are being elected, and I think it's fascinating to compare how he's come in and how he was elected to buying your first office or your second office. Like your first satellite office. And the reason I want to compare it is because I think the acquisitions is such an interesting game.
Yeah.
And like the psychology behind the team during it is so fascinating. So they elected Trump, and he could be for Trump or against them, but I think everybody would agree that they do want to like look for waste and spending and fraud and eliminate. And actually, it's typically a Democrat president that does this.
Right.
So Clinton started it, Obama restarted it. And now Trump and Elon Musk has changed the name of it.
Right.
So now it's Doge, but still, it was there. So it's not a new government agency or nothing. And so they kind of ran on the promise, and now they're doing it. And it's fascinating to see how much complaints they're getting.
I know.
From it.
I think I saw a quick interview with like not an actual interview, but just a little clip of Elon be like, "You have no idea how many death threats I get a day."
Yeah, and he's still like in his prime.
Yeah.
He's making babies. I think he's had his 14th the other day. He's making he's a baby making machine.
Yeah.
And he's like there's no, and maybe there is, and maybe that's the whole the cloak or they're putting over our eyes.
Yeah.
He is going to take over, but at the same point, I think he just really likes America, and his companies are American, so he wants America to win,
to thrive. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
or he's an alien from a different
That's
planet.
probably more.
Yeah.
He's like the future AI bot.
Yeah.
And because everything he's touched kind of has won.
Yeah.
Or he's picked the right people to surround himself with.
Actually, like, just to like squirrel alert, like Trump and Elon are either doing what's best for our country in a very effective way for like cost savings, things like that, or there's this super underground like ulterior motive going on
Taking
that none
over
of us
the
can
world.
see,
Yeah,
right? Like
exactly.
It's one or the other.
Yeah. It's not nothing in the middle.
Yeah.
That's how I am, and I feel like I can't change either way.
Yeah,
and so but it helps me to be more optimistic. So I'm just gonna be more optimistic. Like, cut waste and fraud and lower our taxes.
Right. Big fan of that.
Yeah, I like that. So I compare that. So when you buy your first dental office, and I'll give you some tips, and Ryan does these too.
Yeah.
It's really awkward. Probably the most awkward time you'll have, I think, and it's probably more my mindset, and I don't think it is. When you meet a team, like typically they are not the selling doctor or business owner is not allowed to tell the team they're selling.
Right.
And so then when you come in on a Monday morning, they had just found out that the practice was sold, and you're coming in, you're like, it's me.
You're like, surprise.
I wish I had hair too, and it's not what you're probably thinking, and sometimes, I mean, they get so mad. So one time, well, what we do now is we usually buy them gifts.
Like we do a lunch and a gift
peace
or
offerings.
something like that. Yeah, like
well, we make the seller do lunch. We're just kidding. But we
did for the Hayden acquisition.
You bought?
No, he didn't buy lunch.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, usually seller buys, and then we bring gifts like a peace offering. Like, hey, we're not bad people, and So now we used to just do chocolates and like a Bath and Body soaps and stuff, and now we do chocolates in a Hydro Flask or
something a
anyways.
little nicer.
So that's a big key for anyone for your first time you're buying an office or your first Nets purchase. You want to go smoother. You just buy them gifts so that it comes in as like, hey, we're not bad people. We're not firing people. We want to keep you. And it's always interesting because like when they meet you, it's you never know what way it's going to go.
Yeah.
Some teams are like super like happy. Some are like,
oh, we saw this coming.
Yeah,
like
he needed to retire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's been talking about this for years.
Yep.
And then there's some that is so side blinded, and sometimes it was like the doctor's like number 2 person, and they're just super offended. Like he didn't tell me. Like, well, he couldn't really do.
Yeah,
it.
that's the thing is like, I see from like the employee standpoint, it's like, well, why didn't you tell us? We could have even helped with this, right?
Right.
And there's the non-disclosure agreements and all of that, and maintaining the profitability of the business while it's in transition. And it's some people are like completely offended.
Yeah.
And instead of taking that offense towards the selling doc, it's the buyers.
The buyer. They're there. They're like, they are the problem.
Yeah. You're the opposition in their life at this moment.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like you're not in all the cases, but I feel like, hey, if you're a Republican, you're happy Trump's in. If you're Democrat, you're really upset and you feel like the world's going to come to an end.
Yeah.
Or like they took your firstborn son and that's it. Like you're so mad or could be so mad.
Yeah.
And that's how those conversations go the first day is sometimes it's like they're all excited for change and then there's not excited for change. And what I think too, it's like, so the first day is super awkward.
Right.
You can't tell anything what's going to happen. You don't know who's happy or sad. And as the weeks progress, they kind of, and especially if you're like just a good leader, they'll open up to you like, oh, we're excited to like make some changes. We need to change our marketing. That always comes up 100% of the time as we need better marketing. That's our problem. And we need this and this and that. I'm like, okay, we're perfect.
For some reason I get asked if we're going to paint the walls.
At Hayden?
At Hayden. All the time. I'm like, they're a nice brown.
We will.
In 10 years.
We will. We make some profit first. But that's you get stuff like that. Like, oh, we need to update the office. We need to update the website. Or sometimes we bring in like, hey, we have health insurance benefits and we have 401ks, we have bonuses. We take people on trips. We do humanitarian trips.
Right.
We're really invested in making memories for our team and our patients. And they're like, some of them will start getting behind you and appreciate it. We give you swag and sweatshirts and then the time kind of progresses. Like they are really excited. So say, okay, we need more new patients.
Yeah,
we have a solution for that. We know how to market and we know how to answer the phone. So we're going to spend this money marketing. And here's the training. This is how we found it be more effective to answer the phones.
Correct.
And then it's like, no, that's like cutting my arm off because I answer the phones this way.
Yeah. You didn't tell me what to do. I've been doing this without you.
I have 40 years of experience. Like I do it this way. And it's like, that's the problem why the marketing's not working. It's actually not a marketing problem. It's a phone problem.
Yeah. And
I feel like that's like a conversation. Like everybody, even some Republicans now are mad at Trump and Musk because they're cutting everybody.
Right.
Even though like, that goes along with reducing the expenses.
Yeah, what's the
cutting everything?
No pain, no gain, or you withstanding reward for a long time is how you actually truly earn something, right? Like we go down a whole like Rome wasn't built in a day, like right? And it's like that it doesn't have to be painful, and it sometimes is painful.
I mean it's painful and that I think team, and I understand they want to, a lot of times they'll take who they are and say, okay, well, the previous doctor gave me this and this. I got to keep that because that's good.
Because that's who they are.
I'd want to give, he wasn't good at marketing, so I want to take that. Okay, you guys have health insurance. Okay, I want that. Or you guys go to Dominican Republic. Okay, I'll take that. You guys go to Disneyland. Okay, I'll take that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you want me to change as a human being or you change like the words that come out of my mouth when I answer the phone. No, I don't want that. You
keep that.
You keep that one.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, I don't want that one. Oh, you want to give me more money? Okay, I'll take that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you have to change my dress. Like I'm a front desk. I don't wear scrubs in the front. Oh, I don't want that. You can have that one back too.
Yeah.
Because I like wearing scrubs in the front, or I like to wear loud butterfly scrubs in the back.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's cool. The pediatric offices here, we charge a lot of money for some of our procedures, so we don't do that here.
Right.
Well, you take that one back. I don't want to touch that one.
Yeah. Like I like my pink scrubs, my pink sparkly scrubs. Yeah. You keep your black ones.
Yeah. Or whatever color they are. Just like, I don't want that one.
Yeah. And we are changing colors.
Yeah. Or what else was come up over the time? Oh, like, yeah, you guys have so some offices are like totally want to be digital.
Yeah.
And some offices want the sheets, the day sheets or whatever.
Yeah, day sheets.
Or not the tracking.
Wow, it's weird that I can't.
The route slip.
Route slips, yeah.
The route slips, and it's like a big fight either because I don't really care. The whole office has just a degree.
Yeah.
And most offices have route slips. So the one conversation we had, I do not. That is such a waste for trees. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay. Well, I mean, so she's like, you keep that one. I don't do route slips. And then we asked them like to do the paperwork up front as new patients. Like, no, you do that's in the back. We don't do that here.
Yeah.
So it's funny. And so when you're trying to make these changes, like Elon and Trump's trying to do now, it does affect even Republicans too, because it's some people in their districts and stuff are getting fired or let go, or they're like diving into their expense column saying, "What are you guys spending all this money on?" Yeah. It's like, no, I just want you to affect those guys. Like, cut the budget, but cut their budget.
Don't put pressure on me. Yeah. Put pressure on the other guys.
Yeah. I feel like it's totally how it happens.
I love watching you cut costs over there.
Yeah.
But keep it over there.
Right. Yeah. So when they did it first, they did the USAID thing, and then they've done a few, and then they're like, okay, we're going to look at the FBI and IRS. I'm like, oh, yeah, I didn't know this was all going down.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, then we're going to the Pentagon. I'm like, yeah, see, I don't think he has like any care. I think he's going after everything. Any waste.
I mean, unless it is for some ulterior motive that we don't know
like
about.
And I think I was telling my dad, I feel like sometimes they make such like a stink over here. Like, what's going on like over here, like behind the scenes? Right. Like they make this big show of something. It's like, yeah, they're probably doing something in the back door.
Oh, like maybe whoever's in opposition to what's being cut in one area is actually just trying to blow smoke or start a fire over there so they don't come looking in their backyard.
Yeah, it's distractions.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's really good at distracting people for sure. I mean, they're dumb, but that's how I feel like when you're first. Because buying your first dental office and buying your second or third, if you want to go that route, it's not super easy. And this is so if you can be a little protected from that, thinking like, oh, all the employees are going to love me, they are not, and there are some that are going to. You're just going to get along with some of them, and probably when we first started taking offices over, acquiring them, it was 100% turnover. Either we fired them or they quit. And that's changed now. Now I think we actually retain about 80% of the team. And it's usually up to us that we're letting them go. They want to stay. They're just not a good fit.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is, being humble enough to come in and be like, hey, we know your value as a team member. We see you. We can improve together as an office for the betterment of our patients and our team.
Yeah.
Right. And I think maybe we're just getting a little better at applying that and talking with people in that way. And
yeah, we are so much better. And I think it's also before, at least with me, the mindset was, well, because I employ you, you do what I say. It's kind of like a dad mentality. Like my son's like, why? Because I said so, and that those words do not make it for team members.
No.
Especially when they didn't pick to choose. There's a whole thing. They didn't pick to work for us.
Yeah.
That's their biggest issue. Like, and they don't understand it is, but that's the issues. They didn't choose us. And so they're mad about it.
Actually, that's one of the more interesting things that I'm glad you brought that up is like, they didn't apply to work for us. They didn't get interviewed, and then they didn't get picked or chosen. And then they would rather go risk working somewhere else with a whole new team that they don't even know.
Yeah.
because they get to feel like they have the control over the choice.
Yeah, it's like this, that like the skill I just talked about, like the phone skills.
Yeah.
They don't want to do it, right? And so I'm better at having the conversation now of pointing that out, of saying like, I get you don't want to change, and I get change is hard. Say the change is so hard or so frustrating, you quit today, and please don't quit. We need you, we want you, and we just say you quit.
Yeah.
And you go somewhere else, and they say, hey, this is the process of how we answer our phones. You're going to do it.
Right.
You're not going to say like, well, no, I do it this way.
Right.
No, it's not. You're not going to do that. You're going to do what they say. So isn't it better that you know us? We are good leaders. We're good organization, to just do it for us. Like that's like, why are you going to quit, try to find a new job with new team members, unless you need to, and that's okay too.
Yeah.
Why would you do that until you just try and do it our way? And you'll see how effective it is and how much better it is to bring patients in, and they'll like thank you.
Right.
I was having a hard conversation the other day with a team member who's saying like, I need to know every detail about this specific procedure so I can answer every question on the phone. And I looked at him like, well, you're not the best person to answer the phones then. It's actually her, because she knows nothing.
Right.
She's worked for us for 1 week. She's going to be way better and actually more qualified to answer the phone than you are, because she's going to keep saying is, I don't know. And Dr. So-and-so is going to know that answer, and everybody likes working with him or her. And that's way more effective than trying to answer all these questions on the phone.
Yeah.
And I think I offend her, but it's really is like, that's like, she's going to be better at it because she has no history. She doesn't have all this baggage of 30 years of being offended on the phone.
Yeah. There's studies, there's research, there's proof in answering all those complicated questions over the phone.
Yeah.
All it does is add complexity and questions.
Yeah, because it's not everyone thinks the patient has a question. The patient does not have questions.
Yeah.
The patient has trust problems.
Right.
They just want to know who they can trust, and they're never going to trust a voice on the phone. They trust a person once they sit knee to knee and have a conversation, and that doctor is really good at building the relationships.
Right.
And just a good leader and dentist, and it's so hard to teach team members that. Like, I get that the patients are asking you questions. They don't really need them answered. They need
they
them
want
come
they
in.
want like you said, they want to feel that they can trust you, and that trust is built by the rapport in person.
Yeah. And then they come in like the team's amazing. Everyone's like doing their thing, and we built these processes to make sure the patients feel comfortable and welcome, and making those smiles more about teeth. So that's our goal. That's so if you go into dental offices, that's a few tips. Know like that first day is going to be amazing because you create a memory. And I usually say that to the team too. Like, hey, there's a very few days you're going to remember in your life. Today's one of them. So be thankful for it.
Yeah.
You'll get to experience it. And this doesn't mean it's amazing experience. It could be the worst day of your life. You're going to remember the worst day of your life. Or it could be amazing. But either way, you're going to remember this day that your doctor sold the practice, and then this guy came in and he's your new boss. So
sorry, you made me laugh so much I couldn't stop coughing over here.
And you get a little chuckle and you move on. And so be sincere, bring them gifts, know that you won't be able to make any decisions that day, because the team I'm like the dirtiest looks at when I've acquired practices, and sometimes those turn into great people. But what I have learned is reflecting on all the team members that have stayed and left. If I give them a gift and they don't say thank you, I don't even think about it. I don't care. They are rarely around very long.
Oh, I haven't done this.
You have to look back and see.
Yeah.
Because you give them chocolates, cups, sweatshirts, T-shirts. You take them on trips. The ones that are not appreciative, and it's not like we fire them because they're not. It just they tend to leave on their own.
They have a hard time having maybe just the simple gratitude of, hey, at least this guy doesn't seem like a jerk today, right?
I think it's more of the patient, the people that don't always say thank you. It's usually because they feel like they deserved it.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I think that's the mentality. Is like, well,
of course you brought me a gift. You just bought the practice,
right? Like, no, that's abnormal behavior.
Yeah,
no one else does this. They show up and they demand you to bow down to them. You know? This is like, they don't realize that's like so abnormal, or you guys took us to Disneyland. Yeah, we deserved it. Like, no dental offices are taking their team to Disneyland. No, like 2 out of the 200,000 offices go to Dominican Republic a year.
Yeah.
Like no one, it's not normal. So the ones that don't show appreciation are the ones that have that mentality is like, I deserve it. And so they're going to find themselves out because that's not the mentality we're looking for, because we don't deserve anything. We just get what we get.
Well, we get what we earn. We create it.
We create it. You're all positive talk. But anyways, so that's the team. And so don't judge. They'll find the first, I think typically the first month, you kind of know your strong players, weak players.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't make any changes till at least a month. And then you can start slowly making changes. Although sometimes I think firing everybody day one would be way easier.
Yeah. At least you'd have your team from day one.
Yeah. You have a team that picked us. But don't do that because we have such amazing people.
We really do. And we learn things from new people that have been on the team from other offices, right?
Oh yeah, we've changed how we do some things because their way was better.
Yeah.
Or in a community, it works better than maybe in a city or like a rural area. Anyway, so hang in on them and then you serve them. That's why you're doing this. Is actually, and they're not to serve you. You are there to serve them.
Yeah.
And help them see the way that you want to do is going to be better for everybody, and it will be better for everybody.
There we go.
Crushed it. So that's how you can be like Trump or not like Trump. Be like Musk, not like Musk. Be like Ryan, not like Ryan.
Yeah.
Whatever. But maybe
definitely be
in
like
the future.
Be like Chase.
Be like Chase. Don't do
definitely be
Chase.
like Chase.
No, you'll offend way too many people, and you'll have a sunburned head when you go on vacation.
No, you didn't wear a hat.
I didn't get sunburned, but when I sometimes I'll get when I go out in the sun, I wear a hat, so then the back of my head.
Yeah, the right where the one spot is.
See, when I got so bad one time, it was dots on my head because I wore the trucker's hat thing. So it's like little scattered dots. Yeah, it's embarrassing.
That's awesome.
So don't do that.
I usually come back with like a leather forehead and a chin that's peeling. So.
Yeah, you do get sunburn on your nose and chin.
Okay. All right.
Well, thank you for joining this episode of The Dentist Show.
Yeah.
Make sure you subscribe and share and comment if you're on YouTube.
Tell your friends, family, loved ones. I will say this. If you want to know what we look like, it's on YouTube.
It's on our podcast cover too.
Yeah, it is.
We're pretty big.
But we're more animated when we watch us in live.
Yeah, that's right. So. Okay, thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for listening to The Dentist Show. We hope that this episode helped you make smiles about more than teeth. To get more resources to grow as a dentist and to learn more about Chase and Ryan, go to thedentistshow.com or just follow the link in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, share with another dentist in your life and help us grow the movement. And be sure to rate and review wherever you're listening.